I'm Paulina Leiser, producer of Focus Today. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure to check our other videos at theDove.us.
Yes, what a delight to have our good friend. We have him here, ladies and buddy. Nobody like Doug.
One and only.
Doug heads up the Foundation for Recovery, one of the great organizations in Southern Oregon. I can't say enough about what they do and how they go about it and the growth of this ministry.
Thank you.
We've watched this thing God just put his finger on it and say, this is it. And Friday's a big day for them. They are going to have their open house. So Doug Gould's with us, who heads up Foundation for Recovery. Congratulations.
Thanks, Perry. Thanks for having me on.
You know what? I'll make a little bit of a prediction. I'm not a prophet, nor the son of one.
Okay.
So I'll just make a prediction. I won't call it a prophecy.
Okay.
Because
I'm good with that.
I can get hammered with that. But you'll be in another new spot within a couple of years.
I believe that. I absolutely believe that. You know, looking back when we first opened our doors in December 2011 in the Woolworth building, you know, we had about 400 square feet, and we thought, you know, this is good for right now, and we outgrew that so quickly. Yeah. I tell you what, Perry, faith-based recovery, using faith as part of our recovery program is so essential. Yeah. And we need to provide that to our community. And we've seen, it's been a lot of hard work. You know, I mean, trying to build a nonprofit, it's a lot of hard work, raising the funding. And the cool thing about the foundation is that we don't charge for our services. When people walk through the door looking for assistance over addiction, we've got incredible volunteer coaches who have once been there in the grip of addiction.
And that's the key.
Yeah, absolutely.
It takes one to know one. And I've always said, whatever God saves you from brings you through. He usually turns around, makes you a minister to, and that's what you're based upon.
Absolutely, and that's the heart and passion behind our volunteer coaches. Yeah. They want to help. They want to give their program away to someone else. That doesn't mean they're perfect. Yeah. We still have those edges that need to be refined and so forth. But I tell you what, these coaches have been trained. Our material has been approved by the Oregon Health Authority, so we are certified, and there's no excuse to stay home and say I don't have anyone to turn to.
Well, I just can't wave this flag enough. Now, Friday's a big day. Finally, your open house at your new facility from 5 to 7, 817 North Central, Suite C. So if you're coming down Central, you've got to turn off there a little.
Yes, we. In fact, if you go right past our offices, there's a large parking lot right there next to Les Schwab. Okay. That we have secured the owner to allow us to park there. Okay. Because parking is going to be an issue. So we'd like folks to get there early. It's going to start at 5 o'clock. The ribbon cutting ceremony through the Medford Chamber of Commerce will be at 5:15. Okay. Our good friend Ed from Sunrise Cafe is hosting the event in reference to catering some Hawaiian barbecue, and we have some special speakers coming in. You'll meet some of our clients, and then when you walk through our offices, you're going to say, well, this doesn't look that big. Then we're going to ask you to go back over to our old building and walk through that. But what we want people to do is when they walk through our new facility, we want them to see our heart, and we want them to see our vision. Yeah. We have an educational center that we're going to be dedicating to Steve Hell, our Steve Hell Memorial Educational Center, which we're already using and offering parent and family support groups on Thursday nights now. So. Well,
I just can't say enough for what Doug and his crew do in helping people with any addiction.
Absolutely.
Look, we automatically think drugs and alcohol.
Chemical, right.
It could go to any addiction you may have. They got a mentor to match you up with that and to walk you through that. And that's the power of this. Their success rate is off the charts successful. Absolutely. And just a matter of time before the court just totally recognizes you. I think you're real close, aren't you?
I think so too. I think people are realizing that this type of pathway to recovery is needed in our community. Yeah. Peer mentoring is now not only being offered through our agency, but other local agencies now are coming to our facility, getting trained, and taking it back to their agencies.
Wow, it's wonderful.
So yeah, it's a wonderful program.
Well, I still think it's just a matter of time you will have your own standalone facility.
I believe that.
It's not only for what you do on a day-to-day basis by mentoring people, but the overall education process that you now offer to help other agencies. Yeah. So I can't help but think it's just a matter of time you'll have your own standalone. And I just see this going nationwide.
Absolutely. You know, the Foundation for Recovery, we just don't focus on chemical addiction, but all sorts of substance abuse. But not only that, but we also focus on the wellness of the individual.
Right.
We help with job placement. We help with housing. We help with getting that that person that was once caught in the grip of addiction back well again, and then offering those services back to our community. It's a wonderful program.
All right, grand opening Friday afternoon, Friday evening, 5 to 7. Again, it's 817 North Central in Medford. Let me encourage you to go there. Drop in sometime between 5 and 7. Have some goodies, but take a look and introduce yourself, find out what's going on, and maybe you know somebody that needs their services. You come and check it out, whatever it is, but let's support what they're doing. This thing is really terrific. And Doug, I just want to say, for those who may be seeing Doug for the first time, he is down 108 pounds.
108 pounds since January 19th, yeah.
I mean, that is like an absurd record.
Yeah.
In 6 months, 108 pounds.
I tell you what, you know, when the Lord finally got a hold of me on this, you know, like...
You were mentoring somebody.
I was actually mentoring a young man that was caught in the grip of addiction to heroin. And I tell you what, you know, I've always been... you know, big, you know, I mean, it took me 3 years out of elementary school to realize a teeter-totter actually went up. You know, I mean, it's just one of those things. I've always been heavy. And so I was talking to this young man about heroin addiction, and anything I said to this kid, Perry, I heard the Holy Spirit talking right back to me about my food addiction. And so I started studying about sugar and how it relates to the body and releases the dopamine. And I went, my goodness, there it is. And so I started educating myself, got into a nutrition program, exercise program, and it's going great. 12 inches on my waist, 10 inches on my chest, 6 inches on my neck. It's going really well. 108 pounds.
And you still want to go down?
Yeah, I still want to lose. I definitely, I started this new exercise program called Rena. My friends out there in Central Point, right next to Albertsons, started a studio that has, it's high impact cardio. It's nice to bend over without losing my breath anymore. So it's actually, I'm telling you, it's such a wonderful way of living. You know, it's all to the program. Yeah.
Well, again, I think underscores what's going on with Foundations for Recovery. And look, there is no set course or time you do, right? Whatever it takes.
We ask the participant to commit to a 12-week program, but most of our participants stay a lot longer. You know, we have guys. I have guys that I work with that are with me, you know, still a year, because we want to not only work on our sobriety in reference to, you know, say no to drugs, but understand why to say no. Learn how the signs of what a trigger is, a compulsion, understanding that emotional situations do create a behavior, and how to understand that. And so we train them, and we equip them to use the tools that God's given us. And so
the other part of this, Doug, is by the time someone comes to you, they may be inspired to come, they may be desperate to come, but they also may think, well, this is my last try. I've tried everything else, nothing really works. You know, why should I give this a try? Why is yours different?
You know, it's funny that you asked that, because that was a question that came up yesterday. One of the reasons why it keeps people away from getting help is one of the reasons is past failure. They've tried it and it didn't work for them. Another reason is the fear of now living a life without the chemical addiction in their body. But understand this process.
The fear?
The fear.
Of it not being there.
Exactly. What happens is there's such a security that we have in reference to using that chemical. And when you take that chemical away, we don't know how to behave. We don't know how to act. We don't know how to think. We don't know what to say. And so when you have actually somebody across the table from you or sitting on the couch with you that has been there where you're at now, it's such a wonderful opportunity to share with that individual the hope. You know, I tell you what, I'm a firm believer, Perry. You give someone hope, you know, use God's love and forgiveness. You know, forgive ourselves. Forgiveness is a big key here. You know, the addict needs to forgive themselves, needs to move on. And some of the times what happens is we have created such a wreckage of our past, and we want to fix it right now. That's not the issue. What we need to do is fix our individual first, and then the promises of our program will come to pass. Well, what keeps people out from not walking through our doors is the fear they don't know how to behave. And that's what mentoring is. We give God-given guidelines and principles that someone can walk through and use on a daily basis. And sometimes that takes a lot more than 12 weeks.
Yeah.
But that's the commitment our coaches do for our participants.
How scary is it for an addict to see themselves without the substance?
Extremely. I mean, personally, for myself, I didn't think I could go a day without having a drink.
Really?
Oh, absolutely. I remember the fear that when I got out of that ICU with a blood pressure of 280 over 220, 5 days in detox in Rogue Valley, when I walked out, the fear gripped me. But the first call I made was to Steve Hell, the original founder of Foundation for Recovery. Wow. And I said, Steve, I need help. And this is what he said to me, Perry. He goes, Doug, you need God. And I said, Perry, I said, Steve, I've got God. He goes, no, you need to understand that you can live a successful life without that chemical in your body. And even though I had fear, and I didn't want to use, I didn't want to go back, because I know for me, taking a drink is death. And so I got a mentor. I got someone to guide me along. And then the fear started to subside, and I saw the hope behind it.
How long did it take for you?
Well, a good program for me, it took me a good 6 to 9 months to understand the process of those triggers and compulsions.
How did you move the dependency of the addiction, your case alcohol, to God? How do you?
Well, here's the thing. Bill Wilson, who wrote the book of Alcoholics Anonymous, on page 64 says this: if you fix the spiritual malady of the man, if you overcome the spiritual malady of the man, the physical and mental will follow, or the physical and emotional will follow. You put God first. You put the principles of His Word first. You fix the spiritual part of the man, understanding that we don't need this chemical to understand emotion or process emotion. Then what happens is we begin to act differently. We begin to speak differently. We begin to choose our words differently. And so it takes a while to change that condition of the brain, but it does work.
Well, I have to tell you, folks, the most successful addiction recovery program there is out there. Foundation.
I think so.
Yeah, it is. Foundation for Recovery. And so they have moved into a new facility. Their grand opening and open house is going to be this coming Friday from 5 until 7. It's 817 North Central. And parking available south of the office there.
Right there.
It's kind of a right around behind
next to Les Schwab.
Yeah.
We'll have people out there guiding you at the parking.
And you can walk up, or they'll shuttle you up, whatever. But anyway, come on over. Let's help them. Let's celebrate. There'll be some food and raffles, and meet the staff, and you'll walk in and see what they're doing. But where this ministry has come from to where it is today and where it is potentially going is really remarkable. And I just know in time you'll have a center. You'll have some kind of a standalone center.
I totally believe that. I speak that. Amen.
Yeah,
I believe
which
that.
The Lord is going to push this thing down the road. So let's get out and support him. 5 to 7 Friday night. You got Ed doing his little
Ed's great.
Hawaiian
we love
barbecue
Sunrise
thing
Cafe. Everything in moderation.
Your addiction went from alcohol to food, right?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, whatever it is, listen, they can handle it. Thanks, buddy. Best
Thanks, buddy.
And congratulations.
God bless.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate
All right, we'll
it.
see you next time on Focus Today.